steely resolve, and sure grittiness.
It starts with an attitude. We need swagger, okay? Regardless of what happens out there. Doesn't matter. Keep your swagger.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another round of Sit Start Saturday. We're your hosts today, Jay and Alan. Before we jump into Sit Starts, kind of a somewhat fantasy relevant breaking news. It looks like Cam Fowler is on his way to the St. Louis Blues. It looks like just like the pieces coming back to the Ducks are nothing fantasy relevant. But Jay, what are we pie in the sky thinking that this does for Cam Fowler?
Yeah, we were just wondering on the value for Justin Falk and whether or not that really hurts, I guess, his existing value, competing not only with Colton Parayko, but now also with Cam Fowler. Not saying Cam Fowler is necessarily going to outcompete Falk. It's more so just eating more into that existing share in which Falk was already slipping ground against Parayko. Yeah, I don't know if that's a defendable setup now. If you were on the fence about dropping Falk, I think you could possibly move him more firmly into the could consider to drop. And then further, don't do it on like a crazy schedule. Do it on a schedule like a 2-weeker, like no off nights, something like that, free up that slot. And yeah, and we were talking inversely. What do we project the Ducks decor to look like now?
Right.
Like who's going to slide into those D1 minutes?
Well, it looks like it looked like Cam Fowler was already not getting power play 1 or 2. But man, I mean, let's look at their depth right now, at least as of their last game. Yeah, Fowler and Dumoulin, yeah, like you said, was that top pairing. I wonder, who slides up on the left side, Lacombe or Minty? But it seems like just kind of power play taken care of. Like I was telling you before the show, it seemed like Falk, he's got 3 points in his last 5 games, but he's only on like a 23-point pace. I wonder if maybe not immediately, but within a game or two, if we do see Fowler get some sort of audition on that top power play.
Yeah, just circling back quickly to the Ducks over there too. I was trying to look at their even further past games, and it looks like Minchikov and Zellweger got all the power play minutes the game prior. So I don't know if the Ducks have a set PP1 or PP2 defensive core, and definitely if they were putting 2 defensemen on power play 1 with the prior game and then only 1 defenseman against the Leafs against the Leafs 2 nights ago. Yeah, I think this trading away of Fowler is kind of, I guess, clearing out and making it easier for them to make decisions on the line. Like, how old's Fowler? Fowler's not
right. I thought he was late 20s. Like, he does not fit their window,
timeline,
I think,
at all. Yeah, he's 33 years old, and just I think that sort of like his role as that veteran D-man in some ways has been completely taken over by Jacob Trouba's trade. And so in that way, I don't think they're trying to give any more power play minutes going forward on their team to, I guess, more established D-men in the league. I think they're trying to make it so that maybe Trouba can slide up and gel into that D1 pairing setup. And then afterwards, their young guns can kind of slot into those power play setups and hopefully eventually work their way up to take more and more ice share, more and more ice time, including the time on ice, I guess, shorthanded and 5-a-side, but definitely to start on the power play. I would pose a question to you, Alan. Which of the defensemen, the young defensemen that would stand a chance at getting that power play 1, would you recommend to listeners?
On the Ducks, right?
On the Ducks.
See, it looks like, Minty came back. What was their last game? Because it seemed like Zellweger was getting that top unit, but only while Minty was out. But it looks like they gave it right back to Minty.
Yeah.
As soon as he came back.
I will be honest. I will say none of the Ducks are particularly playing amazingly either right now. Like
No,
we're
but for next week though, I think kind of like I brought up in the weekend preview, the Ducks do have 3 games and 3 off nights, so they're at least worth some sort of audition stream, I guess you want to call it.
I guess like gun to the head, have to choose a team or have to choose
Minty for me because it seems like they just want to give him that spot because they didn't even give Zellweger power play 2. But it looks like we have our first question here from Armin. Drop Talbot for Jari or Gibson. His Cats are win save percent shutouts. His other goalie is Skinner. So for me, and this is a somewhat speculative ad, I would say drop Talbot for Gibson. You might take a hit in the short term for wins. I would say maybe at least hang on to Gibson for a week before this roster freeze happens. Gibson again involved in some trade talks, going to a much better team, and then now you just got a much better goalie situation for free. But I don't trust Jari kind of long term. He has had some good games lately. I will give him that, but I would Gibson because his individual rate stats have been good lately, and as a a speculative ad, at least for the next week.
I was gonna say too, Armin. Do you have an IR plus spot? Because they just announced, last night that Jack Campbell's getting called up for an emergency because Talbot is unavailable Saturday out. So, I was wondering if you could just chuck Talbot into the IR and punt that. I don't. It doesn't.
Ooh,
if it's
if we can find something right now.
If it's an emergency setup, I would assume it's not long term. I would assume.
Looks like he's being evaluated Monday.
Either who? Seth Jones is on your IR. Oh, you only have one IR slot, no IR plus. Yeah, if he's got no IR slots, I don't think those 3 goalies in my mind are in the same. Okay, yeah, okay, you confirmed it. I would be comfortable dropping Talbot for either Jari or Gibson because I know if you're in the vein, and this sounds harsh, but I have leagues and rosters where I'm in the same boat with goalies. If you are dropping if you are rostering a Talbot, you could very well just as easily roster a Jari or a Gibson, and dropping one or two of them does not indicate a crazy balance either way. It's kind of just, like balance of probabilities, luck, and all that stuff. So if he's out, there doesn't seem to be any value to holding on to him, especially if you don't have an IR slot. And then Jari or Gibson would. Jari got dropped after 2 games of poor play. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins are pretty impatient in the beginning, right? They took him all the way down to the farm basically. And Gibson's been back, but that Ducks team again is pretty struggling. Gibson will most likely get 2 out of the 3 games. I will say at least that. Whereas Jari, I think, is has Jari made?
It's like a 1A 1B.
Okay, yeah. So maybe, yeah. Just take Allen's advice and take Gibson.
I would say, yeah, at least for the next. Well, yeah, because Ducks have, like I said, 3 games, 3 off nights, so you'll easily fit Gibson in. And like I said, it's sort of a somewhat speculative ad because I forget when exactly the holiday roster freeze is, but I think it seems like there might be this Cam Fowler trade might be one of a few before the roster freezes I think it's about a week. So yeah,
and I mean, I'm just looking
at least for a week.
If he's talking about long term, like Armin long term, neither of those guys should be a. You don't think Dostal will eat? Well, I mean,
it seems like they're running them somewhat tandem, and I get it. You don't want either of those guys to get ground into paste. So it's not guaranteed that Gibson will get all 3 of those starts next week.
Well, I mean, I'm looking. So the very past 3 games have been concerning for that mark because actually not even. So the past 3 games, what happened is December 9th, December 11th, December 12th. Dostal, Gibson, Dostal. But there was a back-to-back there, which is why Dostal got the start. If you kept rolling it backwards to December 6th, 4th, 1st, November 29th, November 27th, November 25th, it always went Dostal, Gibson, Dostal, Gibson. And I think they're going to continue doing that. Dostal is not going to eat into those starts in that way for Gibson. I think they know Dostal is their future. They're not going to run him into the ground now. They know John Gibson is not the future, and they need to keep giving him kind of like a performance so that trade, I guess, interested parties will continue to, clamor around and want to find him. So, no, John Gibson's not going to be the starter forever. Guys, come on. But no, he's not going to take away those 2 out of 3 starts while they still need to shed his contract. Come on. Edmonton Oilers.
Well, and there's no guarantee that'll happen, but it is like the one team specifically that is strongly rumored is Carolina. So could you imagine some sort of tandem of John Gibson and Kochetkov?
I'm thinking too, John Gibson maybe is definitely the guy to take, because either way, he's going to either get 66% of the starts going forward, which is good for bulk starts, or he's going to be a 1A, 1B on freaking Carolina. I keep saying the Oilers too. Like, come on. Like, there's gotta be something.
I guess that's a good segue into one of the first questions here. And I went ahead and answered it just in case we didn't get to it in time. This guy wants 2 goalies out of 4 to start. I voted Vejmelka and Skinner because if you look at Skinner's last 5 starts, like he's all like, I think what is it? He hasn't let in more than 2 goals since November 21st. I know it's Vegas, but it looks like the Oilers are they're cooking right now. And Vejmelka, again, also on kind of a tear.
Yeah. Alan, I'm so torn between like the components of, it's recency bias, and also like, wait, no, this is start bench. This is literally what we need, recency bias. In terms of recency bias, I definitely think Vejmelka, just that team, I couldn't believe it. They were what, home against the visiting Avs and just crushed them. Like it looked good, like they looked like a well-oiled team. They had, what was it, like 2 games in a 3-game stretch where they like scored 6 goals against their opponents. Like this team is an interesting.
Yeah, who'd they beat? The Avs. They beat the Avs like what, like 5-1 or something like that a few nights ago?
Yeah. But like, if there's any team in the league that has as massive a gap between the highest of ceilings and the lowest of floors, it is definitely the Utah Hockey Club. And stay in the Flames, right? It's where, heck yeah, you want to figure it out. And I guess leaning against, the only name that pops against that is not Swayman, but Shesterkin. The votes also seem to match that.
I mean, so Shesterkin seems like the easiest answer on paper, but remember, they just lost Trouba to trade. And then Keandre Miller, they've made a recall. So it seems like Keandre Miller will miss some sort of time, and he's as close to one of their anchors or core D pieces as possible. I don't know if I trust the team in front of Shesterkin. Also,
the LA Kings are one of the stingiest teams in terms of goals against. And I don't know if it's the system. I don't know if it's, like just their, I guess, like responsible forwards going back and forth. But yeah, that team does not lead goals. And I mean, they don't really score like crazy either. They have the least, they're like basically midway, if not like below average in their own division.
That team's kind of a hot mess right now. But I mean, you never know. This could be the game where New York sort of, that locker room gets galvanized and they get it back together. But I don't know if LA is the team you want to test that against. I mean, so for me, Skinner with his very hot streak, and definitely Vejmelka.
Also, I mean, LA and Vegas are both top 2 in the Pacific, right? So you could say Skinner, the real decision is Skinner versus Shesterkin. And I honestly think it could be a toss-up either way between the 2 guys. And Vejmelka, I think, is against San Jose. Yeah, you definitely want to start that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think Vejmelka pitches a shutout because it seems like the Sharks, they will score. It's just a matter of how many. So for this next one, start 1, scorings there. Philip Forsberg versus Colorado, and Shushkin versus Colorado or Nashville. Timo versus Chicago, and Crosby versus Ottawa. Ottawa is on the back half of back-to-back. I mean, and this is one of those start your studs. I feel like Crosby is the way to go here.
Hold on. What is this guy's team? How in the world does he have a stacked lineup where he's got Philip Forsberg, Nichushkin, Meyer, and Crosby, and only one slot? That is wow.
I was like, it's either a taco league or it's like an 8-team or something where everyone just is star-studded.
And the most amazing thing of all is that in this question, the one flared vote is for a Philadelphia Flyer, none of whom has any player in his rock. Anyways, I'm so confused. Is this Alan one where we ask him basically, do you have anybody else, to drop? Or no, not drop, sorry, to bench? Like, can you really tell anyone that Timo Meyer and Sidney Crosby can't both start? That seems kind of nuts.
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. Again, today 30 teams are playing, so everyone's going to have situations like this where it's like you're potentially benching studs.
I think Crosby versus Ottawa has to be the play, right? Yeah, Crosby versus Ottawa.
Especially, oh my God, who did they just beat down a couple nights ago?
Montreal.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Doing the Canadian tour.
Even against Montembeault, who has been otherworldly lately.
Yeah.
And the gritty. Got a little gritty
for sure.
Caffeine ketamine start 1. Pick top 2. So I guess we're looking for 2.
The second coming of Raccoon Jesus Laferriere. Oh my goodness. None of these options. Okay, easy one first is Meyer, right? Of all the names. Come on, that's gotta be.
You think for me, one of the easy ones is Monahan.
Really? He has been really hot. He has been really hot lately. Just gonna check his current setup.
And then so I guess we're looking for one more. I do like that matchup.
Do like it too.
Jersey versus Chicago. And they got their call up. It looks like Chicago has their call up starting tonight. What's his name?
Gorgeous.
Hold on. I'm going. I have Drew Commesso.
Drew Commesso.
Yeah, Commesso.
Oh, come on. Some of these options, could be famous last words, Alan, but Jason Zucker is 100% a stay in the Flames choice.
Right, that power play one.
Imagine benching Timo Meyer for Jason Zucker, and he just.
Well, I'm looking at it. I'm almost thinking either Norris or Meyer.
You know what? I like.
But I am irrationally attached to Josh Norris. So I don't think I have a unbiased opinion here.
Keeps the shoulder up extra that game. Oh man.
Yeah, maybe Timo as the second
I'm going Monahan and Timo. You convinced me with your Monahan shenanigans. Oh look. Oh, Alan, I realized you're the other vote. I was like, oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Another one here from Armin here. Need to bench 5 of these. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
And you need shots on goal and power play.
Wait, so Armin, just for my easier mindset, how many of these guys do you want to start instead of saying bench 5 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need 5 start, 5 bench. Okay.
Oof.
I think Kadri, you got to go. You got to start him. Stamkos got to start him. Rossi, yeah, good deployment for sure. Rossi.
I would not start both of those Columbus players. Right, diversify. So that way, if
you mean Voronkov and Fantilli,
yeah. So that way, if the Ducks for some reason shut out the Blue Jackets, you're not down 2 players. You're only down 1.
Absolutely.
Shoot, I have to remember who plays who this today.
Let's see. My impression based on names alone would be you'd go Kadri, Neighbors, Lehkonen, Rossi, and Stamkos, and everybody else, unfortunately, you punt him down.
So who does Winnipeg play? Winnipeg plays Montreal.
That's a juicy lineup.
You almost got to start Velarde.
It's juicy. But does Velarde get the PP1?
I thought he still did.
I thought he did too. I was just like confirming because if he's getting that, he's leaning toward benching the last five names.
So Voronkov, Velarde, Fantilli, Peterka Stamkos.
I could see that.
Honestly, you might have it right.
I don't really believe in Cousins, but I honestly could be converted either way. I just need to find like his last setup there because I don't remember necessarily. It's not that he was doing terrible, terrible evil. It was more so I remember even when the Buffalo Sabres were rolling, it didn't seem like he was the guy that was the reason. Let's see. Where's Cousins? He got a plus minus 2 minutes of power play time as power play 1. Yeah. Could see it.
Yeah, and Fantilli's not on power play 1, so I would say he
for sure
bench him.
Stamkos barely shooting, surprisingly. Yeah, the Nashville Predators are really, really struggling right now. Oh, boys. And mind you, I'm in a league where I have the Nashville Predators, like their entire 4-stack, like including the goalie. Oh, my goodness. It's not a good time. Amon, we
kind of covered that at the beginning, but so to answer his follow-up question here, need to drop Orlov. Who do I claim rest of the season? So like for the next 2-3 weeks. I would say Fowler is worth kind of the speculative ad there.
Yeah. I mean, but if at the same time, if Falk is there, I don't necessarily think Fowler is the immediate grab, drop Falk. I probably would lean toward holding Falk and seeing, who ends up getting more runtime. Burns burned that shit to the ground, man. It's really painful. I think he got some points. And who's our guest for power play 1?
So I'm again, like I said at the top of the show, I don't think Fowler gets it right away. Right? Yeah, it seems like a pretty weird thing to do is toss someone right into your power play 1. So it might take a game or two. Give him a couple practices before they give him that audition. And I'm not saying he holds it, but he probably most likely gets a look, especially with like I said, Falk's only on like a 23-point pace, which is down even more. He only had 41 points last season compared to his last few seasons at about 50 points.
What the heck? Broberg was getting second PP time? Oh,
this sucks. Yeah, I was really hoping Broberg would get a look on the top unit at some point.
Oh, geez. Okay. Falk, Broberg, Parayko, Perunovich. Oh man, they do have an interesting pipeline of D guys that I guess have cycled in. I guess that is good and also not good because it indicates nobody has taken over PP1 and just kind of like shaking it down as their own. Right, Fowler, not Falk for third.
So it'd be Fowler, Broberg, Falk, Broberg, Fowler. Parayko, Perunovich.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that idea. So go for Falk first. Honestly,
at least while he has it, I would say be ready to make changes. Watch that lineup, but I think so. I don't trust Spurgeon to keep power play 1.
You have to understand,
or put together a healthy string of games.
Yeah, you have to understand, Emon. Both Alan and I are scarred from the years of playing fantasy hockey and seeing him year in, year out take the power play 1 and then go straight back to the IR plus.
Yes, or only finish the season with like 40 points.
40 games.
Just him and was it Dumba that would get top unit time sometimes and still 40 points. I wonder if that power play just doesn't run through the D.
It
just doesn't get a touch.
Well, I honestly don't believe in any of the players there aside from like that first that core 3. And I mean, I'm not really counting Marco Rossi right now while Cheek is hurt, but
No.
really talking about Kaprizov, Boldy, and Cheek. Those guys I believe in like wholeheartedly, regardless. And everyone else is definitely Rhoda on the Rhoda for me. Actually, probably Philip Gustafsson in net.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Shall
Sorry,
we?
yeah. So next one, yeah. Sorry, I was Zuccarello too.
Zuccarello,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
whenever
yeah.
he comes back
Whenever
from
he's
his busted groin.
We're on Bluto.
What? Yeah,
Are we on
Bluto. Sorry,
Bluto?
they
Yeah.
said Pluto. I'm like, what?
Oh.
What? Need to
Yes,
bench
we
2
are.
goalies.
Who
I would bench Merzlikins because Jet Greaves is getting
Yeah.
the start.
Blackwood, eh?
Assuming Blackwood starts, there's no confirmation there.
No.
These are just kind of assuming they all start because I don't think. Yeah,
Blackwood has a high ceiling. Blackwood has the lowest floor, I would say, of the 3 remaining goalies after Merzlikins. Mind you, Merzlikins too is crazy floor, crazy ceiling, right? Like Anaheim is a winnable game matchup.
Yeah,
but I would lean probably
Blackwood and Saros are not confirmed. But of course, Nashville is like freaking terrible about confirming their goalies. But it's usually always Saros anyway. I would say bench Saros, man. Saros and Merzlikins.
It also depends what you're looking for because Bluto, I don't know if you have I don't know if it's Jet Graves. So they're saying Jet Graves is confirmed? No.
Yes.
Not actually.
Yeah, he's confirmed. I mean, dude, he put up a hell of a game against the Capitals. It's a 2-1 game in OT.
Oh. Holy moly. Yeah, okay. So no Merzlikins.
Yeah, no Merzlikins. Okay. He's a bench for sure.
And
I'd say Saros. Assuming the other 3 start.
The other one is if you're gonna go Blackwood versus Nashville, with Nashville's not only woes, but
hold on. Are you about to suggest to start Blackwood and Saros? That way you get the win no matter what.
Oh, geez, I didn't think of that one too, Alan. That could be a play, but it also depends if they're doing cats, right? I would say if you're doing a cats league, I would say Blackwood probably gets you the win.
No, it's looks like it's points because he does have his scoring down there at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, in that way, I don't know if it's necessarily okay. So what? 1 save.
So it's 5 saves to a goal against.
5. Okay, and then how many saves would be a win? Hold on 1 second, Alan.
20.
20 saves for 1 win? Okay, yeah, no. Homie, you got to go. You got to go for whatever gets you more likely to win. Yeah. Okay. It's got to be Blackwood then.
Yeah. Although who did Nashville just put together a good game against someone? Was it Dallas?
Oh, that sounds about I'm tempted to say.
But they started a Noonan, so it wasn't a Saros start.
Let me check. So a Noonan. Did they?
I think they did.
I
think it was a Noonan against
Dallas. Yes, they did.
Dallas,
yes, they did.
like 4-1 or something.
Yes. Well, I would say the only issue is more so Saros is going to get a ton of rubber. Like Colorado, it's on some of the games you look at the shot score and it's ridiculous, right? Like just.
But is it enough to make up for not getting the win? Like you were trying to head math.
It wouldn't be enough, right? With 20 saves equivalent
20
to 1
saves
win.
to the win.
No,
I
don't
bench Saros.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's what Colorado at home. Everything about this leans a Colorado win, which imagine is like 3-0.
I say since those games start later, you never know. They could start Wedgwood. Wait, Wedgwood? Yeah, they could start Wedgwood against Nashville.
They could.
They could very well do that.
Yeah, and Wedgwood's done well. Like
yeah. Yeah.
So he's lost the last game, but he only had 22 shots against in that game. But the other games, he had a pitched a shutout against Jersey, 6-2 win against Pittsburgh. Yeah, like for sure, I would say to managers as well, like he's only 38% ownership, eh? Like this is possibly like a Lankinen Demko situation where I would definitely tell folks like don't sleep on the Wedgwood either. Okay, which one are we voting for, Alan? You voted already?
I'm voting bench Saros.
Bench Saros. Okay, we're gonna go
Assuming
Skinner.
Blackwood gets the start.
Yeah, let's go Skinner and oh shoot, yeah, it's the bench, right? Not the start. Okay, yeah. Okay, how is the bench looking for today? Is this all right? Second attached to players that are started. Vetrano.
All right, so he is benching.
No.
Okay, that makes
Nason.
sense. Ghost Bear has no game. Nason. Nice.
Oh, Sherwood is an interesting one, eh? I started Sherwood
I
for
know,
so
right?
many games, but my concerning setup is the inconsistent time. So he was getting like one of the games when you scroll back, he gets like 18 minutes, 16 minutes, 20 minutes. And then now, like the past 5 games, he's only got 14 minutes. Mind you, he's also scored 2 goals during that time. So it's like a really confusing irony. He's got 8 hits. Holy jeez, Alan. This guy's got 23 hits in the last 3 games. Holy moly. Okay, maybe I stand corrected. Keep that man in. Wyatt Johnston against St. Louis.
I would. Hasn't he? White Johnson's been playing top line, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, maybe. Although Gunther, I feel like Gunther's been.
He's got 20 minutes a night. Yeah, pretty respectable numbers. Pretty respectable numbers. Yeah, for sure. He's been racking up.
Holy shit. Yeah, Gunther, was he 5, 6, 7 points in his last 4 games? Yeah, keep him in.
Yeah, I could see it. The only guy I would say too is how's Frankie V been doing?
Oof.
Frankie V has had 2 goals the past 3 games, still playing 18 minutes a night or so. I don't know. Frankie V is doing pretty well too, but I mean, I guess that's the problem too, right? You guess you just have to bench somebody. Yeah, you know what? When in doubt, what are the projected standings and rankings? It looks like all the projected standings are there, and then basically Knies and Vetrano are a wash, right? Sorry, not Knies and Vetrano. Vetrano and Sherwood are projected to be basically a wash. Yeah, I would say you can probably keep it as is.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, all right, why Johnson? You put Nason in. Nason, I don't know.
Yeah,
kind of a power play merchant. Marchessault or Eklund. I kind of want to say Eklund, man.
It's so funny because it's like power play merchant. I never imagined Stefan Nason to be power play merchant in my mind.
Well, on that team, like for some reason, Keefe loves him.
Yeah. How do we do? Is it the right? Is that what we're doing? I'm just gonna wait for you to choose one, Alan, and then I'm gonna pounce the one.
Are you also going Nason?
Oh yeah, no. Oh Nason.
Or not Nason. Eklund.
Sorry. Oh yeah, 100%. I honestly have a slight vendetta against that Nashville team. I hope they do well. I'm just so annoyed by them.
Wow, benching both of his Rangers.
They are. I've seen Zibanejad dropped in some of my leagues. That's how dire the man has been playing.
I think he's good. I think Chevrolet Timbers is good.
Let's see who's he got. Yeah, if anything, look at that stacked, juicy forward core. Oh man, you good, man?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Who's he benching? Monahan, Nuge, which I agree with. Slavkovsky, I agree with. Harley. So who's he playing? Spurgeon, Faber, Hamilton, Morrissey.
So it's just about Harley, right? It's like Harley versus Spurgeon or Harley versus Faber.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to worry. Yeah, I wouldn't push.
Spurgeon. Yeah, Spurgeon's got a ton of minutes at the moment.
Yes, I really like Monahan in there. But shoot, I don't. So you probably have to take out Rob Tom, but
yeah, I don't really see any obvious errors, so to speak, from Thrall's setup. Like unfortunately, it's one of those where one guy on this bench could pop off, but if everyone plays to their floor, I think that's the right setup.
Well, real quick, Amon, is Shea worth a look in Josie's absence? Are they giving him top power play?
Well, they got nobody, nothing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Who else do they have? Shea. Yeah, it looks like he's top power play. What's Nashville's schedule for next week? I don't think it's anything fancy. Yeah, they have 3 games, no off nights. Rangers, Pens, LA. I don't think so. Unless there was a defenseman you were already sort of on the fence about, but he's not going to get you any extra games next week or anything. They play Colorado tonight. I just don't. I wouldn't unless there was a defenseman that. Well, I think you asked about Orlov earlier. I mean, that would be a slight upgrade over Orlov because at least Shea is getting power play one time on a team. You're on mute, Shea. You're still muted, Jay. No, you're not muted. Or you're still muted. Yeah, to drop Orlov to grab Shea, that's not a bad move. And who did the Blues play next week? They have 2 games, 1 off night, but it's Jersey, Tampa, Florida. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Jay. But back to Thrall. That's a toughie. I really want to get Monahan in for him somehow, but I just don't. This might be the way to go, actually. I can't come up with a scenario to get Monahan in there. And then next up here, can only play 2. I agree with this one. Nason versus Chicago, Velarde versus Montreal. Yeah, you're still muted, Jay.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Hey, there we go. You're back. You're back.
That was so weird. Frick. Okay, I was saying with that Orlov and with the
okay,
the Orlov and the Shea one, I would probably say if you need, pick up Shea first because they play 3 games on all the heavy nights, but then you have all those times open for I guess for what do you call it? Yeah, like Yossi, right? So then when you get him and you get the early nights played first, afterwards when the scheduling for Carolina rolls in because they have the Friday, Sunday off night later in the week, you could potentially just drop Shea. Sorry, you could potentially drop. Yeah, it is Shea. Yeah, you could potentially drop Shea and pick up Orlov for the Friday, Sunday, and then you get 4. You get an extra game played on the Sunday. That's just something small to consider, I guess. Does that make sense, Alan?
Does Nashville play Sunday?
Well, Nashville plays.
No, they only play today.
They play. Oh, you're talking about this week. I was talking about next week, basically.
Yeah, next week they play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah. And then Carolina plays Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. So then what you could do is you could grab Shea and get the Tuesday, Thursday, because you have that spot opened up by Yossi being hurt. And then if Yossi comes back, obviously you just pick up Yossi. You just, I guess, drop Shea, reactivate Yossi. But even if Yossi is still out at that time, what you could do is you could then play out Schaefer until Saturday and then drop and pick up Orlov Sunday. Or you could drop Shea on after he plays his Thursday game and pick up Orlov for the Friday and Sunday. And that way you gain a game no matter what. You only get that option if you take Shea though. So I would say they're basically a wash in my mind of the two. So in that case, try to maximize games played through that way.
And then Rook's question, did you kind of agree with that? Like Nisa versus Chicago, Velarde versus Montreal as the two to play.
Wait, who's the other one afterwards?
I don't know, maybe not Nason. I almost want to go Neighbors for that top power play.
Yeah,
I know they're playing Dallas.
I think it also depends what you're counting. Like Hurdle, like I play in leagues with like face-off leagues and all that jazz, and like Hurdle is just, you know, a gem. He's definitely one of the three. Like all the Vegas Golden Knights have outperformed their draft value so far, and that makes me lean Hurdle. But at the same time, yeah,
Hurdle has 3 points in his last 3.
Yeah. Like at the same time, if we're just talking matchups, like why in the world would I tell any listener to go for Edmonton and Dallas when freaking Chicago and Montreal are available? So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Velarde.
And then another one from Shiver Me Timbers. He wants to add a goalie for tonight. I'm almost thinking Greaves versus Anaheim.
That'd be a funny matchup. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Fleury versus Philly. And a goalie. Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know, man. Phillies felt like a lot of trap games lately. Because I forget who they played recently where it was just like, nah, man, there's no way Philly beats this team. And then they pumped whoever it was. I need to see Philly's last few games or whatever. What's their schedule? They pumped someone recently where I was like, what? That was unexpected. Yeah, was it? Maybe it was. No, it wasn't Detroit. That was the game where Lawton got 4 goals, though.
Right.
Yeah, they put up 5 against Florida last Thursday.
And Columbus.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, or maybe that's who it was. I thought that would be a much closer, much more low-scoring game.
They also haven't been quite as bad as I was thinking they would be in the standings. Like, they honestly are playing exactly as I would imagine a 500 team to play. The record on the road is like weirdly good. I don't know if does that bode well? I thought normally it's the teams that do well at home and the team wells that. Anyways,
which team?
Well, the Flyers are 7-8-1 at home, but they're 7-4-3 away. So you're kind of like scratching your head a little bit. Like maybe it's all the hotel stays, you know, easy nights.
Oh, who was it? There wasn't there that goalie a few years ago. I think we've talked about it on the show where it was just like he had like a new kid or something. So it was like when he was on the road, he could actually be rested and sleep and did better.
Oh, incredible. All right. Would you change Malkin
for Kreider? Yeah, Malkin for Kreider. Who does Pittsburgh play again tonight?
I probably wouldn't. If they're saying put Malkin on the bench and put Kreider up, I probably would not.
Yeah, against the Sens backup, and the Sens are on the back half of a back-to-back. I
probably wouldn't.
I kind of want to keep Malkin in, man.
I also want to say Malkin's had a strange setup where, like last year, he was on the wire. Like that's just how bad for stretches he was. But Malkin this year has been like, you know, this has been a renaissance resurgence. So I'm almost tempted to put Malkin in the same, like just start regardless kind of thing.
And like we said earlier, LA is really stingy. I don't know how much I'd trust Kreider to show up for you.
Yeah. They have done, let's see. Like I do want to say they've gone like a lot of flack recently, but I think they've still strung together several wins, right? Oh, maybe not. 3 wins, 3 losses over the past 6. Yeah, it's been, I don't know. And Kreider too, like no goals. Well, actually, sorry. He got a goal 5 games ago, but just even the
For
minutes
someone
are
who's
kinda,
known as a goal scorer, that's
yeah,
rough.
that's dry. That's dry. And the problem as well is the minutes are going down, right? Like 18 minutes, 20, and now it's go tripping down to like 15, 16 minutes. It's kind of scary. Given some of the games where his minutes are going down are very tight games where you'd expect an overload on the higher lines. So it indicates still he's now on obviously like line 2, power play 1 still, but he's not going to get that, like overshared deployment when even in a close game. So then you're kind of questioning and wondering, wait, when is that minute ticker gonna tick back up? I guess when he scores like crazy, and then they're like, yeah, like roll back up. But I don't know. How much do we believe in Panarin and Panera Bread and feeding him for future? Like, oh wait, shoot, but Panarin's on line 1.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
guess we still
Panarin
get,
and then Kreider on different lines. It'd be power play where they'd be together,
right,
if at all.
Yeah, and I mean even Panarin. Well, Panarin's got what, 2 goals, 4 assists last 6 games. It's, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't think so. I think Malkin's the guy.
Yep. And then we all wear 42. He's wanting to start 1. So Kempe versus Rangers, Cousins versus who does Buffalo play? The Capitals. And then McMichael versus Buffalo. Marchment versus too many games today. St. Louis.
Yeah. Do we want to say Kempe is like the only name of all those that's like a must, like start your stud? I don't think any of the other guys fall into start your stud.
I don't know. For me, it's between McMichael and Marchment.
Yeah, but Marchment's not a stud, right?
Not a stud, but
overperforming.
Is he
B tier, right? I would assume. They were just waiting for Allen to pop back in, boys.
I dropped out there.
Yeah, no. Back to what we were saying with McMichael and Marchment. I think both McMichael and Marchment could definitely outperform. I just think they're in terms of categories. I don't think of those guys as like studs and you start them regardless. I think of them as like they are really good guys and they outperform their, like expectations and stuff. But then if it's like start your stud category in those names, I think of only Adrian Kempe.
I mean, yeah, Marchment's shooting percentage is a little high.
I'm not saying actually even that the vote is only Kempe. I'm just saying my first impression seeing those 4 guys, like the ceilings of those 4 guys might not be. I don't think Kempe is necessarily even the highest of all of them, but I think he's definitely got the safest floor. I think he's like the start your stud category if it is. And if we were trending away from starting your studs and going, okay, we're going to stay in the Flames with some guy, I would lean maybe Marchment, but I'm probably going to start Kempe just because he's, the stud in my mind.
What's his shot rate? 2.5. It's Kempe 2.7. I mean,
it's really deceptive too, because I honestly feel like, how do the Kings? It's weird. Like, I don't watch as many Kings games. Obviously, it's late and everything. And it's like, I feel like, how does that team end up second in their division? I feel like they never score and never let in goals. It's so weird. And I'm like, how is Kempe doing? Anyways, it's a really, really strange experience at times.
Well, I guess before we get to Joey's, we should probably finish this one up.
Which goalie? Are we going for the which goalie to start on Spartan? Or
no,
what?
the looking to start one. See, for me, it's Marchment, but I mean,
yeah, you can vote.
The Caps do play Buffalo today. Shoot. For me, it's Marchment.
Okay.
Which goalie to start? Greaves versus Anaheim seems like Dean Evason seems to have a lot of confidence in Greaves' play. He's rewarding with a second start in a row against Anaheim of all teams.
Yeah, it's like Greaves is like the unknown ceiling, right? Like I have no idea how good the guy could end up being, but it kind of seems, worth if I'm in a state where I'm choosing one of these goalies to start anyway, I want the potential upside of a new stalwart.
But yeah, Joey's question. I'm assuming you mean start 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Protas, Huberdeau, Caulfield, and Keller. Shit, who does Montreal play again? Man, Winnipeg. Okay.
God,
yeah.
Protas with those guys? Oh, geez.
Yeah, dude.
Protas.
But I don't know if you saw that, but it just came out on Twitter. He has the highest even strength per 60 points right now.
Yeah, it's insane.
And against
3
Buffalo,
goals,
yeah, Protas is a
2
lock for
assists.
me.
Protas doesn't get power play 1, does he?
No.
Or power play at all. I don't think it's
No, because I think they slotted Chikrin into Ovi's
okay.
spot on power play 1, which is
So I
going
would
to be
say-
weird for him once Ovi comes back. Because does he? Yeah.
Yeah, he just drops down. Greaves plays early game. Who would you take after him? Is he saying he doesn't want to lean Greaves in case he doesn't play?
This might go back to his earlier question here.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Let me pop Discord back up there.
Okay, Joey, I'm just gonna finish the idea and the thought in my head.
Yeah, we'll finish Joey's question here.
So Joey, the setup basically is okay. There's Protas, Huberdeau, Caulfield, Keller. You're getting line 1, power play 1 for every one of those guys, with the exception of Protas. So I would say,
for me, Protas and Keller are the 2 locks.
Protas and Keller are the 2 locks. Okay. In my mind, basically, in terms of deployment, you want the guys on power play 1. So I would lean Huberdeau, Caulfield, Keller, and bench Protas. The only thing is, if Protas is the guy that's hot in the flames, then and you really want to ride it, I guess.
Yeah,
Huberdeau?
let me see what's Protas.
I guess Huberdeau's the guy where you
that's
pop him down.
Yeah, because man, I think he had 2 points against Tampa a couple nights ago.
It's objectively a good problem to have, that all your guys are clicking and you just have to pop one of them down. But yeah, he has the exact same setup as Protas too, right? 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 3 games. I don't think he's doing quite. Yeah, exactly, right?
No, man, Protas has 5 in his last 3.
Oh, jeez. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. The issue more. Oh, geez, yeah.
I don't like Montreal against Winnipeg, because Winnipeg could start Comrie against Montreal, but they probably won't. For me, I feel like it's Protas, Huberdeau, and Keller.
What's Caulfield been doing recently? Because the other issue with Caulfield as well is that he's got
he already got Suzuki. Like, don't play both those guys. Like, because if Hellboy puts up like a 50 save shutout or something, you have 2 guys that did nothing for you today.
The other one I was checking is, so in certain power plays, they rotate and operate around a singular focal point. And it's like a single trigger, basically, that springs the entire power play. Like, I'm thinking like Stamkos, like from Kucherov to Stamkos. That was kind of how I was thinking it, or anyone to Ovi. But the same way is that Montreal.
Not to throw any more gas on everyone's fires today, but it looks like Zook has just been activated from LTIR.
Oh man. And does that hurt Rossi's? Oh man, I don't know if that hurts Rossi's value or not, but that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's always good to see players return. Julie, just your last thought too is that return of Laine, great as it is for the Montreal Canadiens, does that push Caulfield away from that point as the trigger, like I guess the finisher? Is Caulfield no longer that finisher, and is Laine the finisher in the power play 1? I don't know, Alan, if you've covered or even like watched all those like Montreal games specifically, like on the power plays.
It's awesome. Like, I had no doubt Laine was capable of what he's doing right now. I mean, even in Columbus, when he did play, he was about point per game guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spartan.
Joey, for sure, I would say I agree with Alan that you gotta go Keller and Huberdeau. I think Protas or Caulfield is the pause, but yeah, like, so Caulfield's Caulfield is in the same boat where he gets line one, power
No,
play one, but
I just like that matchup so much more for the Caps against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Especially with Dahlin. I haven't seen any updates about Dahlin. I know he didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah. And I think the weekend was the one they were trying to bring him back for, right? So it doesn't bode well if he didn't practice. Let's see. And okay. Alan, do we want to sit?
I would.
Sit
I would.
Switchfield. I would still say sit Protas, but I could definitely see sitting Caulfield. Yeah. Alan,
especially if he's already got Suzuki. Do
Yeah.
we want which one? Sorry.
Correlative scoring. Oh, I was just thinking, like, do we want to check any of the ad drops or goalie chat trade talks quickly before? Or
yeah. So real quick, I just put it out there. Last call. We only got about 3-4 minutes left. Yeah, we can go to ad drop real quick. Hoops. I'll start at the bottom and go up.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Who to pick up head to head? Seth Jarvis.
Seth Jarvis. Oh my goodness.
Okay, good.
Wire?
Right?
That is okay.
I got for me, I almost want to know like how many teams this league has.
Yeah. Because I saw Jared McCann. It's got to be Jared McCann. And then I saw Seth Jarvis. Oh my goodness, yeah.
16-team redraft. Pick
rest
one.
Of
rest of season, in quotes. I kind of agree with the mob, Ryan O'Reilly.
I would want Brock Nelson, but I mean, yeah.
Well, who was it? Was it Brock Nelson? That's a rumored real life trade target.
Oh, really? Oh, please, no. Like,
because then if he moves, he's probably not going to be like he's not going to be a 2C or 1C somewhere. He'll be like someone's 3C.
Yeah, that would be horrific for his fantasy value and incredible for his actual NHL career. Okay.
I feel like O'Reilly, to me.
Yeah, I voted Brock Nelson, but yeah, I can see that.
Seth Jones is healthy. Blah. You guys still take him over Wallman with the goalie chain? No, give me Wallman. What did I see? He had like 22 points in 27 games.
Yeah.
Like freaking ridiculous.
In one of the leagues when he was still like injured and all that stuff, and that was not the play, Alan. Oh, man.
I'm holding him, and I don't know what to do with him because I don't know if they give everything back to him or they run with.
Well, no, Alan. I'm gonna tell on myself even more. I'm saying I dropped Wallman back when he was hurt. And I've been regretting that decision immensely since. But for Seth Jones, yeah, no, there's nobody else competing with him. Like Vlasic is not gonna come on. So yeah, I would definitely say I would take Seth Jones over Wallman, but I would do everything in my power to keep both Wallman and Seth Jones because really, you don't get goalies. You don't get defensemen like this. Just just off wires.
Especially Wallman, because I mean they have tried a couple other guys in that QB spot, but none
gone
of them
back
have
to Wallman
held.
each time.
Oh wait, is that the same guy? Yeah.
Protas or Hintz? Oh yeah, same
Wallman
guy.
and Jones.
I that's kind of a weird one, I guess. Oh wow. Okay, I voted Seth Jones and everyone else voted Wallman. My goodness, nuts.
Yeah.
Protas or Hintz? Points only.
Go spare. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Who to pick up head-to-head points league? I don't know what Go spare is changed about this season. If Brendan Moore is just giving him more, loosening up the leash, like holy shnikes.
Earlier question on goalie start from Turnerbury. Who would you take after him?
On his the start bench. Oh yeah, we didn't answer that one.
Greaves or no?
No. Because he said they have like an earlier game. I don't know if he may not be available at this point.
Oh God, you guys.
I mean, who did Georgiev? Georgiev did something.
Oh, Alan, we can't do this to the listeners, can we? I guess we can.
I think we can.
Oh, I hate it. But yeah, I guess technically there is a.
Yeah, against St. Louis.
Man. Oh dear.
I mean, he put up an 8.50, so not great.
Yeah. Just beware, buyer beware. This is the same man who was doing heinous crimes in the crease with that Avs team, and now we're giving him the San Jose roster. Just keep that in mind.
I don't know, man. Now he's playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah. But
he's the only name that stands out. Let's be real. Of the other two,
Spencer Knight versus Calgary. Is Knight
Fleury.
starting? Let me look at our starting goalies here because we're running out of time.
No, but I think what it is it's 3 straight games for the Bob, right? So I think the reasonable understanding is like Bob hasn't started. Actually, Bob started. Bob started 3 games each time. So then the 4th game usually is the backup start.
Yeah, if Knight gets the start, give me Knight against Calgary.
But even then, man, like 10 goals in his last 2 starts, like 10 goals against his last 2 starts. Like this guy.
How many of those? No, like.
I mean, he did get a shutout the game prior to that, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's heavily skewed toward 1 or 2 games.
Knight is definitely a high ceiling, low floor setup. Which I would say,
2 games of 5 against, because I think Bob was out.
Was out for something, yeah. Like here's the thing: if you were going to pick up any of these guys for 1 game, maybe I would lean Knight.
If the shutout was against Carolina.
Yeah, it's a very strange setup. But mind you, that team has also been pretty strange. Yeah.
So I don't know. Are we back to Vanacek/Georgiev?
I guess we can do that to the listeners, Alan, can't we? Yeah.
So there we go. If Greaves is gone, you can't take him, play him. Yeah, I would take the Shark starter because that seems like the most evenly.
Should be able to
take go either way.
Because he said early game, right? So early game. It's none of the early games have happened yet, have they? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so he should be able to take.
Well, there we go. Let's we'll go ahead and wrap it there. Thanks everyone for tuning in, submitting your questions. We filled the full hour, Jay. Awesome. But yeah, good luck everyone, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Hell yeah. Good luck and good hockey. We'll pick you up later.